Find product links below and hundreds more videos on my channel.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the Konova Smart Motion Controller with the Pan tilt head, and in part 2 I'll show you how to use this guy. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at setting up the Konova motion control kit with the Pan tilt head. Now the setup that we have over here is we have the Konova K5 slider, we've got the Manfrotto M-Pro 535 legs, and in case you're wondering, this little pink thing is a super gripper. It's something that it's just a piece of rubber to keep this held nicely in place from spinning. This is the Manfrotto 520 ball, which is how the slider is connected to the tripod. Okay, so the first setup has a few extra steps to do. And basically when you take it out of the box, first thing you want to do is you take your crank kit and you take the little Allen key that comes included and you unscrew that little screw and that little screw. And then this will come off and you can put this aside. Now we'll take this piece and put it on here. Pretty easy to figure out which way it goes. And if it goes all the way down, that means you've put it in place. Lock that with this thumb nut, and what you can do is you can press your finger there gently and then gently turn this, get that locked down nicely. The next step is that we take this piece right here and we put this on here so that where it has these slits, that aims this way, so that aims away from the main body of the unit. And we'll lock that in place like that. Doesn't have to be too tight. Next we'll take the motor, which has the cable already attached to it, and that slides on there like that. So the belt goes on top of there, and then these pieces fit into these slots on the plate, and we'll use the screw that comes with it to lock it down. Now as you can see, this can now be adjusted. And what you want to do is you want to just adjust it so that this belt fits nicely, nice and snug, but no need to make it really tight. And then just lock this in place. Then the last step is to take the cover and put it on here and close it with the included screw. Okay, so that's the motor setup, and you only need to do this once when you get this out of the box. Next thing we'll do is we'll connect the motor and the belt to the slider. And so first of all you want to start with the center, and it's pretty easy to figure out how that screws into place. That just screws into there like that. With all these pieces it's good to make it nice and tight, but no need to crank it down really hard. This piece slides into there, and then you lock that down like that. Now for this to fit at the back of the slider nicely, what you can do is you can undo that screw and then twist it into a position that allows it to sit nicely with the slider. Lock that back down. Now this just slides into place, just like the front one. And you want to make that nice and tight, but again, no need to wrench it down really hard. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to move this over to here for now, and I'll lock that in place. Next, we'll want to connect the pan motor, and this just screws on from here to there. Again, nice and tight, but no need to over crank it. Next thing we'll do is we'll take the tilt motor and connect it to there, and you'll want to make sure that both of these connections are at the same side. And then that locks in place like that. Next is the camera plate, and that just slides into there like that, and you lock it down. Next thing is we'll want to connect the control unit, and I'm just going to use a little mini arm like this, and I'm going to position that over here. Now we're going to spin this around, and we'll take our junction box and connect that right over here. Next we'll need some power, and you can use the Konova power pack, which can take Sony NPF batteries, or you can use AA batteries by using this adapter, or you can just plug into the wall. Okay, so first off we're going to plug our power in. Next up we'll connect our two end stops. Now an easy way to remember which one goes on which side is to have one of them with the cable already tied up short like this, and then you know this is the one that goes close to the junction box over here. And these need to go in front of this little cleaner so that the carriage can press this button easily. And it's not really a problem because when you're shooting time-lapse, dust isn't really an issue. Now when you're plugging anything into this junction box, if your cable fits, then you've placed it in the right place. You can't really go wrong here. As long as you're gentle with it, it's totally fine. We'll take our second one and plug that in, and then we'll connect this to the other side just the same. And you want to be quite gentle with these, there's no need to put excess pressure on the rail. Next we have the cable that goes from the junction box to the controller. Now we have the cable that goes from the junction box to the pan tilt head. You'll notice that every time I connect a cable, I connect the end that has the bunched up excess cable on the side that is nearest the junction box, because that then allows me to tidy up my cables really nicely in one big bunch next to the junction box. Next up, we're going to take this cable right here and we're going to connect that from the pan motor to the tilt motor. And that's right under here and here. And you want to make sure that you put this somewhere where it's out of the way and it's not going to get snagged. So what I like to do is I like to move this motor slightly this way until a gap is formed right there. And then I'll push this cable through the gap, and generally I won't have to adjust it after that. And I'll lock this in place. And then you want to remember that that cable is there so you don't end up breaking it by trying to close this that way. Next up, we're going to take our camera. Now to adjust this platform, we have two controls. We have this right here, which locks the up and down position, and then we have this right here, which locks the tilt. And this allows you to easily tilt the camera without moving the motor. We'll place our camera on here. Now it's really important to position this in a way where no matter what the motor does, the camera can't hit anything. Next up we have the cable that goes from the motor to the camera. And of course, if you haven't done this already, plug in the main motion motor and then reposition this right here so that you can lock this back into place on the belt. Last thing we have to do is tidy up these cables a little bit if you like, and as I mentioned earlier, these are already bunched up pretty neatly, and then if I wanted to I could just collect all of them in a nice bunch over here and hold them in place with a cable tie or a velcro strap or pretty much anything you like. And if you have the legs attached to your Konova, that does give you some space where you can tie cables and place your battery pack as well. Alright, now we are ready to shoot. So jump over to part 2 and I'll show you how to use this. And thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye!